So, good day, everyone. This is Rahul Reddy, the head of Career Launcher Bangalore, and I have with me Vishno Sudheendra. He's All India rank 26 in CLAT 2022 and state rank of 6, right?
Yes, sir.
State rank of 6. Wonderful. Right. So, first, I think when you checked the result, I think late night. So, what was the first reaction?
I was ecstatic, sir. But I was just blank for a minute, and after that, I was very excited, very happy. I had not expected this. My aim was to get into NLS, so it's a dream come true.
Okay. And when did you first get this idea that I want to be a lawyer and I want to pursue this?
Yes, so I had this idea that I want to pursue law when I was in ninth grade. So I took up law mainly because I find it challenging. Verbal reasoning wasn't my strength. Actually, I love maths, and this is somewhat unconventional. But I wanted to have a challenging journey, test my limits. So I thought law would be the right decision for me.
Good. Then how did you work on the reading skills? What are the type of reading you did? What are the sources of reading? What
Yes,
kind of
sir. As soon as I started with my prep, I enrolled for Career Launcher in April 2020. My classes started from April 2020. So I was advised by the teachers to start reading. So I started reading. Firstly, I started with fiction books. Then I fell in love with non-fiction, especially stoicism and all that. So that helped me a lot to maintain my calm during the exam, in my mental well-being and all that. I would seriously recommend the aspirants to read on stoicism.
good? And as you read, I think one thing that you realize is not just about doing well in an exam, but you actually start enjoying the process itself.
Very much,
And
sir, very much. So this
especially
whole
when you read about
preparation,
very diverse set of topics.
yes, sir.
Good. Okay, so you joined Career Launcher in April. So,
No, I joined before my boards in December 2019. My
okay,
classes started after my boards
2020.
in April 2020, sir.
That's again a reason where you have actually decided very early. So then you enroll right away. That's wonderful. Uh, so run us through the journey in terms of what are the highlights of your Career Launcher part of the preparation and people you would like to mention or the things that are good in the system which really help you.
Yes, sir. One thing about Career Launcher, it's very organized, very well organized. So my classes started in April 2020, and we had this orientation, and we were guided how to start away, how to use the aspiration portal, and all that. So Career Launcher was with me from the beginning to the end. So now they are making videos on counseling too. So that's very helpful. And people who were instrumental in my journey, I would like to thank Anime sir and Janardhan sir, especially Janardhan sir. He not only taught us, but also after class us, he used to call us and help us strategize. Pooja ma'am was there, and especially you too, sir. So I had a counseling session with you too on how to approach this. And sir, with your permission, I would like to mention my study buddies with whom I had my current affairs prep. So who were strong pillars of support for me, who are Harshit, Purvi, Advik, and Mahant. Thanks a lot, guys, if you're watching this.
Wonderful. Right. So but it's a long journey, right? And the two important aspects I would look at, one is how do you keep yourself motivated when you know the exam is like 1.5 year away or 2 years away?
Sir, yes, that is a thing which aspirants should focus on. So it's a marathon, not a sprint, sir. So I would say, just don't go all in right away. That would probably lead to a burnout. And coming to motivation, see, I had dreamt of going into an NLU, so I knew I should take it step by step. There was no merit in rushing. So since it's a marathon, it's very important to strategize and take it step by step. And again, I focus more on the process rather than the end goal. So as you mentioned, there were diverse topics, learning new things. My curiosity was being satisfied. So that itself was an incentive for me.
Can you put in a word about how the legal classes were done? uh, how would you focus on the concepts behind the laws, the spirit of the laws, and the debates
Yes.
that happen inside the class?
Yes, so our legal faculty, Animesh sir, who is not only a legal teacher but also my mentor. So he handled it really well. Most of the topics which sir explained there in the class, that clarity helped me, solve read passages quicker. Not only in the mocks but also in the actual CLAT paper. So when these concepts are explained clearly, that clarity would help us go through the passage quicker.
Okay. Second aspect that sometimes a lot of people don't focus on is the mental strength that is required to go through a competitive process like this. So there's always times where you feel that you're not doing well enough, or you see a sudden dip in the score, or you see that whatever I put in effort, I'm not getting the improvement that is required. So how did you handle situations like this?
Yes, sir. So one thing I would say is focus on the process. And my mock scores fluctuated a lot. So there were a lot of dips, highs and lows. One thing is I just used to tell myself it's okay if you get a low score, that means you can learn more things. So the probability of making these mistakes in your final exam would be less because you'll be learning from these mistakes. And again, there will be ups and downs. Important thing is to take the key takeaways, and we should give ourselves a right amount of breaks. And if we don't if we don't take breaks, that would just lead to a burnout. So I would like to just give you an example. In the last month, I thought I'll solve one mock every day, and after 4 days, I just couldn't do anything. The fifth day, I just took the whole day off. So one thing is, your mental health is extremely important. Don't push too hard. And sir, with your permission, I would like to recommend this one book to the aspirants. This helped me a lot throughout my journey. It's called "The Obstacle Is the Way" by Ryan Holiday. It's related to stoicism a bit, but it really helped a lot. That's the thing I wanted to guide the aspirants about.
Wonderful. Can you kind of recall what happened on the day of the actual CLAT exam? What were you
Yes, sir.
feeling? Were you anxious? Did things go smoothly? Did the anxiety stop once you started the exam?
Sir, one day before the CLAT, I was a bit anxious, but I had made up my mind. One day before the CLAT, I didn't study anything. I just prepared what to take to the exam. So I carried my headphones and I loaded some music on my phone. So right before the CLAT, I was just listening to music and chilling. And I wouldn't say I was anxious on the day because it was more of excitement for me. I was excited. So these 2 years, I've given my best. Let's see what happens. Let's just see what the paper is about. So I was rather than excited. I mean, rather than anxious, I was more excited, sir.
Wonderful. And yes, uh, what kind of a career have you thought about? Careers, like what kind of a lawyer do you want to be, or where do you see yourself, or you want to take it one step at a time?
No, sir, I haven't thought about that. So once I get into law school, once I am introduced to those subjects, I'll later know what to specialize in.
Wonderful. I'm sure your philosophy of the process is something that will really take you far and make you successful.
Thank you.
So we hope to follow and track your success over a period of time.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Right?
Sir,
And
so I just
yes,
wanted to give 2 points to the aspirants who are writing it in December. So one
absolutely
thing is mocks are extremely important. Consistency is the key, and please start practicing in OMRs. So I would say a lot of people would have gone wrong in marking the OMRs and lose about 2 or 3 marks. So guys, please start practicing in OMRs and take the mocks offline as much as possible. This is
yes.
something I wanted to mention. And please don't neglect quants. So that is something which would determine you whether you would go to NLS or NALSA. So guys, so look into that.
Wonderful. In fact, goes very, very similar to the kind of advice that we have given at just before the exam, as well as now to the 23 students. Uh, the fear of maths is much more of a monster than maths itself. I think once
Exactly.
people put aside the fear, they'll find it's not too difficult to solve, at least as far as CLAT mock is concerned. Second, I don't know if you remember, we've kept encouraging people, please come to the center and take the OMRs, the mocks, even though it's more convenient to take it at home. I knew, but we wanted people to get at least some practice with OMRs. And as you said, there are a couple of toppers that I know who have lost, 3 marks, 2 marks. Somewhere there is a discrepancy between the the marking they've done in the question paper and the OMR. Thankfully, they've still made it to an LS, but
Yes.
it could have been much more dangerous. So,
Yes.
very important to make sure that OMR is done in a methodical manner without any errors.
Yes, sir. Sir, and lastly, I'm sorry to carry it on.
Go
So
ahead, go
many
ahead.
aspirants, would have a problem. Where do I do current affairs from? So I would just like to mention my sources of current affairs. So I did
Absolutely.
weekly month-in, monthly month-in, news canvas, newspaper. So these were my primary sources. And additionally, I did a few important events, the events which I felt important from Drishti or any other IAS website.
Wonderful. And
Yes, sir.
you and your study group together made notes on
Yes,
these
yes,
aspects.
yes, sir. So
Yes,
with
mentioned.
my study group, we used to discuss. We started discussing around 15 topics each day. There were five of us, so we used to do three topics per person per day. From May till June 15th, we discussed around more than 350, 400 topics.
Wonderful. So thank you so much, Vishnu. I'm sure aspirants for 23 and later years would find this advice very useful. And as before, wishing you all the success in life.
Thank you so much, sir. I like to thank CL, everyone part of CL. A huge, huge thank you from the bottom of my heart, from holding my hands from the journey until even in the counseling process. Thanks a lot, sir.